Good morning. Welcome to another episode on Perspective ZA, where we give you the perspective from ordinary South Africans on the happenings in South Africa. Um, the focus for this short video will be on the ANC, good, the DA, and the EFF. I'm going to do a video series focusing on each of these political parties, in my opinion, who are going to be I think they are going to be the top four. Sorry to other political parties, but these guys are going to be the top four. This, for me, is going to be the dark or white horse, which they were. The EFF was. I think they're gonna. People have started to wake up, especially if you look at the manifesto. It's just unicorn shit, man. These guys are definitely gonna lose out, but we'll talk about that. These guys, I think, are gonna come out strong, maybe over 100,000 votes, specifically from the colored community. These guys, well, they are Jekyll and Hyde story. They perceive, well, before we get into that, so we're going to make a video series on why you should vote for either one of these. Why you should vote for the EFF, why you should vote for the ANC, the DEA, or for good. Um, and we're going to look at their strong points, we are going to look at their weak points. Um, Mostly, we are going to focus on the weak points, obviously, because for all of these, there's no strong point. There's no strong point to focus on. Because if you focus on their strong strengths, you have to focus on their strengths. We're trying to be impartial here amongst the four. Now, you would also notice that I chose these four not only because I think they are going to be top four, I think they represent the demographics of this country. Um, so I'm looking at it along identity politics, racial lines. I haven't chosen an Indian party because I think Indian people, if you look at the statistics, are voting here. Indian people are voting here or here. They're voting for the DA or they're voting for the ANC. Colored people too. However, they now all of a sudden sprung up this political leader, which is a colored woman. So she has two demographics: the woman and the colored people. These guys, we are going to focus on what they've been trying to do right, which is just cause drama. However, they are more a they want to paint themselves as a socialist party, but they're actually going to just turn around and uh, be a capitalist party unto themselves. These guys, I think they are. I think they're gonna gain votes just because there are people who didn't vote and they are now going to vote. Okay, and I think they are really gonna vote for the DA, which at this point, arguably the strongest opposition party. These guys bring up a lot of truths if you hear them speak, but their actions are just not exemplary. I wouldn't want these guys to lead. Thinking of me and my kids in my future. These guys have shown that they can run municipalities, but they still have that little Caucasian thing going for them that people do not trust. Let's face it, people do not trust white people in this country. I'm just bringing you the perspective that I see outside, speaking to people in this country, and this party is not trusted. And they know it too. This party, we will focus on, well, just basically her, because the party is her. However, I won't be looking at, I'll be looking at her Facebook, their Facebook page a lot. And I want to highlight something that I see that they are pushing, that these guys try to push, that these guys fail at, and that these guys fail at. This is a very multi-racial party. So she has chosen leaders from all spectrums of the country: black females, coloreds, white females, white males, black males. There's an Indian there, there's a colored there. Herself is a colored. And that is what me as a South African, I want to see that. When I look at the ruling party, all I see is black people. Yes, they are the most in the country, but I am also there. I want to feel represented, man. When this guy speaks, I feel like he doesn't speak to me. And his actions shows me that he doesn't even speak to black people, let alone white people. How can white people vote for this for this party when there's no, I don't see a white face on here nowhere. So it's not very inclusive. Those of you watching from elsewhere, we in South Africa has a massive racial history, so we have to focus on these things. It is exactly the reason why people don't want to talk about it, and it's exactly the reason for not talking about it that we are in the mess we are now. You can't say white, you can't say black, you can't say colored, you can't say Indian, you can't say this, you can't say that. Then it's a problem. But here we will obviously focus on it because I'm giving you my perspective from a colored person, but a person that wants to see a multiracial, inclusive society. What these people have done is made it exclusive via policy, but they flaunt it as being inclusive, addressing redress. These guys are against exclusive policies. They are against, well, they are not against. They, sadly, they have fallen under um, the lie that they are against BEE. Well, they are not. They are actually against the implementation or its current mode of implementation, which is exclusionary to white people. If you are coming out of varsity now, you better hope, and you're white, you better hope that your father or your family member or your friend's father has business so you can go work there, because you are basically fucked, in my opinion. No one's looking at you, man. You have to be so good to be looked at. But you're gonna be alright. You're gonna be alright. Don't worry about that. However, these guys here represent a demographic in South Africa that is just inexcusable. You know, the domestic workers, the petrol pump attendants, the taxi drivers, the bus drivers, the people who earn such low salaries that it is unfathomable for you, a middle class person, to even imagine how they live. These people represent those voices, the voices that we, middle class, have forgotten, that we just expect must know how to give us good service. The waiters and waitresses, the cashiers, we must just we just expect them to know that, accept, know your role and shut your mouth. We're going to be addressing that. That's their constituency, I believe. Just so, for disclaimer's sake, I focus a lot on actions of a political party. I'm not really concerned about what they do in their manifestos because it's all lies. I think we've come far enough now in 2019 to realize that, um, 25 years on, um, manifestos and things like that basically mean nothing. I haven't seen a proper policy implemented in the last 15 years, other than land and all that shit there. It's chaos, man. It's a chaotic country that somehow just happens to work. Things are still working, and I think that's why it's the best country to live in. I haven't been to other countries, so it's a very narrow view. But with technology these days, I can start to see and start to research how other countries are. And I'm telling you, we can be a great nation in South Africa if we get this political thing right. Now, we're going to be doing a video series on each of these parties. We're going to focus on their strengths and their weaknesses. We are going to focus on, um, why you should be voting for them come 3 or 4 months from now. Hopefully, that will give you a better perspective if you are not sure yet. These perspectives are, please like, please subscribe, please share with your friends and family. I'm giving you a perspective on our current happenings in political spectrum today in South Africa. Cheers.